Hello, teenagers of the world. I was once a teenager. It feels good, yeah. I know many of you watch my videos and a lot of beginners as well, so I got a few knowledge, insightful wisdom tips for you guys that are very important for you to progress in your workouts and be Willow strong. I'm not here to waste any time, so let's cut to the chase. First tip is you gotta learn how to cook. I mean the basic stuff. It's the best thing that my mother's done for me. My parents were divorced when I was 10 years old, so I lived only with my mother. And she was like, you know, Sonny, I'm gonna teach you how to boil some rice, boil some pasta, grill some freaking protein, and that's it. From now on, you're gonna cook for yourself. Because I'm not gonna be bothered with that because I got a lot of stuff to do. I got your clothing to take care of. I'm glad she took care of that. By teaching me how to cook, I managed to safeguard myself in terms of the bodybuilding days, in terms of when I started, to work out with weights or do my calisthenics routines, because I started doing push-ups and ab sit-ups and stuff like that on my room even. So whenever I wanted some protein, I would get it myself, because back then we didn't have, protein powders quite handy. Come to think of it, I leaned on my grandmother a little bit, so I went over there and had lunch or dinner a lot of the times. But I would say that 80% of the time, and I'm not kidding you, I'm not bullshitting you, 80% of the time I cooked myself. And it was a great school, it was a great experience, so learn how to cook. Never depend on others for you to get your protein. You don't have to be a chef. Second point, I know that the older generation always talks about the younger generations as people who are always clinging on to their cell phones, to their computers. They're always doing stuff on their cell phones. They're even starting to get this bone overdeveloped right here, like a dinosaur bone, because they're always like this. But I'm not gonna be one of those guys that say, quit your cell phone, dude. I'm at my cell phone all the time, and I'm 35, so I can imagine that if you're 15, 16, 18, 19, whatever, you're probably gonna be a lot of the time on your cell phone. But remember this, as long as you're always there and you're always swiping, you might as well learn some stuff. So whenever you have a question, let's say a fitness question, let's say a history question, whatever, go and Google it. Even before you ask Uncle Willow, you go and Google it. You have every website in the world available, every source of information. So get the information from more than one source and always, make it a game. Make it something that's pleasurable. Whenever you have a question, how to grow my legs, you can ask YouTube, you can ask Google, you can ask even Instagram with hashtags and stuff. So make sure you use technology to your own good. I can give you my example. Whenever I'm at home doing stuff like folding the laundry or washing the dishes or getting stuff done at home, or when I'm driving, I'm always listening to podcasts. So I'm always clinging onto my cell phone as well, but in another way. So the podcast will teach me a lot about what I want to know about, because you got to prepare your future right now. You got to build up, you got to develop. Also, sometimes you don't want to work out, and if you go on YouTube and write something like Bruce Willow workout or calisthenics workouts, or check out this guy doing amazing stuff, and you watch that amazing stuff and you go to the gym and you get pumped up. So motivation wise or motivationally wise, it's gonna be great for you as well. So it's all pluses if you know how to use it. Third one, start with body weight. Start to get to know your body first before you go on and want to lift this table up or barbells and dumbbells. Start with your body weight. Just like I said before, when I started working out, I started practicing Kung Fu from a book, then I enrolled in martial arts classes, and martial arts are all about calisthenics. So whenever you do conditioning for martial arts, it's all about jumping on one foot, a lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, and that gave me the foundation, even if you're not into martial arts. That definitely gave me the foundation in order to become stronger later on. So when I was 18, I started lifting weights, external weights, but I was already kind of strong in terms of body weight conditioning. I was already strong and could do a lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups. So the first time I bench pressed, I'm not a huge bench presser, but the first time I bench pressed, I bench pressed like something like 185, and it was a lot for someone who was doing it for the first or the second time. So it's really up to you to start developing, start working on your motor skills, do a lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, have fun, put a backpack on if you want to try some more weight if push-ups are easy for you already, but this is the best time for you to build that foundation. Also, learn how to do the proper mechanics on the movements. We got a lot of videos for that right now. So not only learning what the hinge pattern is, the squat pattern, how to jump safely. This is the best time for you. Really, the best time ever. Really, couldn't be better. Really, honest. Basically, play with your body. Not that way. That you could teach me a course on. Give me a workshop. I don't remember how to do it. Fourth tip, still based on this. Today, and not today, for you even yesterday, but to me, my yesterday, we didn't have this. So I used a lot of those old camcorders, which would not fit in, I don't know, would not fit in this table, you know, those old huge bricks to record myself doing something, to tape myself doing something. And when I say tape, it was an actual tape. One of those huge ass tapes, I don't know, the Video 8, I think it's Video 8 it was called. But I went to the park with friends of mine and I would put my Video 8 camcorder recording me or taping me, and I would do my backflips, I would do my push-ups, I would do my pull-ups, I would do my kung fu stances, and I would watch myself quite often. It's much better to tape yourself and see what you're doing and if you're doing it correctly and if you have a good technique. It's a great tip for you to actually learn from yourself and from your mistakes, because the first day you're gonna be crappy, but the 100th day you're gonna be much better. And the 1,000th day, you're gonna be still much better. You're gonna look back and you're gonna go, wow, I did evolve. And you know what? That can be extra content or great content for you to even post on Instagram, or either Instagram or YouTube. So if you report your journey, you can help others. You can use this notion of knowing how to edit, how to play cool music to your workouts, so you can do a lot of digital marketing for yourself while you're learning your shit. Because what most grown-ups don't realize is that they look at you and they go, oh, they're always on social media. Yes, but they can do great stuff on social media. Stuff that requires work, that requires consistency and discipline. Why not marry it with fitness? So get better. Watch yourself. You got these nowadays that really capture in full HD or 4K, or is there more than 4K already? 4K is the best, is the top notch. 8K? And for the final one, I know, your attention span is quite small. Smaller than your bicep. Lay it on me, come on, be honest. Have you ever had any alcohol? Have you ever had any booze? Ooh, you're so crazy. You're a rebel. When I was younger, a friend of mine, it actually happened to all of us with one drink specifically, but a friend of mine was into whiskey. But in this given night, he had like 10 whiskeys in a row, so he was really feeling nauseous, nauseous, ready to barf. Yeah, sure. And then we had a shot time, and he said, it's not whiskey, bro, right? Because I'm sick of whiskey right now. And I was like, no, it's not whiskey. It's not whiskey at all. It was whiskey. So we had a toast like, yeah, Happy New Year, guys, Happy New Year. And it was like 3, 2, 1, go. It was whiskey. So he was like, guess what? He overdosed on whiskey. No, he was fine. It was just a huge hangover. But what I mean by this is if you have too much of one thing, you're gonna overdose on it. So I know that sometimes we might not be able to measure how much we're doing of one thing. And I used to do that with Kung Fu. Kung Fu was my passion. So I used to practice like 2, 3, 4 hours a day at times. And of course, whenever I did that for 1 week or 2, the third week would be crappy. So don't overdose on your sport, on your modality, on fitness, on your workouts. Always remember that this is a game, it's like a puzzle. Every day you put in a little piece. So consistency in the long run is much more important than you're doing the whole puzzle in one afternoon or in an hour. You know what I'm saying? So be careful with a lot of intensity. Make sure you progress. Make sure you learn how to do stuff properly. And only then will you add intensity. And don't go all out every day trying to be superhuman, because you're not. You're gonna find out that really quickly. So always leave a little bit of gas in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing 2-hour practice, do an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes. That'll be more than enough for you when you begin, and then keep adding on those extra pieces of the puzzle. And one day your puzzle is gonna be pretty solid, pretty good. So build that puzzle. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and show this to a few grown-ups as well, because I know they need this as well. This is actually not teenager tips. This is tips for everybody, because everybody thinks their don't stink. But it does. Be Willow strong.